I think we'll talk about three things today. The first thing will be the recruits that we have signed. Today, as everyone knows, is the first day that anyone can sign a national letter of intent. We had commitments from, now we have 4 signatures in, so we're allowed to talk about the 4 recruits. I'll go through them. I'll take questions on them later. Zylan Cheatham, 6'8". If you compare him to anybody, you'd say he's athletic like Billy White was athletic. From Arizona, we're very excited, as is he, to be a part of this program. But he will give us an elite level athlete, and he's tremendously anxious to get here and be a part of the program. Local product, Trey Kell, who shoots the ball as well as anybody in the country. From St. Augustine, led the team to a state championship last year. He's more than a shooter. He can score the ball in multiple ways. He knows how to find people. He can swing between the point and the two, but he is a natural scorer, has a knack for scoring, and a very intelligent player. Malik Polk broke his leg again, has not played since his sophomore year. He's an elite level athlete, is the highest rated of the group, and also a very, very skilled athlete. He's grown. When he visited here, I hadn't seen him for a while. He looked 3 or 4 inches bigger than when I had seen him before. Malik can shoot the ball from range, from distance, and he's about 6'9", 6'10". So another really, really elite level athlete that I think will fit in the mold of what we've had in the past. The 4th commitment, Kevin Zabo from Canada, out of Brewster Academy. I believe they have 4 or 5 Division I signees today. He can run a team, but he can also play off the ball. He's a point guard that can be a combo guard, got size and strength, and he is a very intelligent floor leader who knows how to play. And when they visited, their whole family was immensely impressed with what San Diego State had to offer them. So we're very excited about the 4 of them. If you throw in Angelo Chol, the transfer from Arizona, who's a local product, Hoover High School, we'll have 5 new players next year. And we feel that they're very, very talented and will bring a lot to San Diego State. They're hardworking students who will be hardworking basketball players and terrific young men. So I'll take any questions on that piece first, if anybody has any questions on the recruiting.
What do you think it says about the program? Tracking this highly touted, high school athletes in the program?
We have truly never said, okay, who are the top 50 in the consensus of the national ranking. We have to recruit them. We've recruited what we felt were really good players that fit needs, most of them of which were West Coast type players. And we've gotten guys that maybe not talked about as top 50 recruits that turned out to be better than that. The thing I like about this group is they're talked about nationally, but they were talked about in our staff meetings long before we started recruiting them. Here are young guys we want to earmark and attempt to get involved with. So rarely do you get every player that makes an official visit. We had 4 official visits. All 4 of them have committed to us.
That new practice facility you announced yesterday, Steve, how much of a role, if any, did that play in this?
We announced yesterday that we're full speed ahead with the practice facility. And it's not just talk. We've got money in the bank. We're planning on putting a spade in the ground after graduation in May, and anticipate a year from then, 12 to 14 months from then, that it'll be open for business. We talked about that with these kids. We had the drawing, we showed them where it would be, and we said, this will be available, this will be ready when you finish your freshman year. It helped. It helps. Kids today, when they visit, they see everything, and this is not a luxury. This is not keeping up with the Joneses. This is what people now have as part of their athletic program. And it will be terrific for San Diego State. I made that comment yesterday. It'll be terrific for our basketball program, but it'll be used for other events and other things. It will be right behind the Palmer Payne Goodall Alumni Center, and I can anticipate some things that will be done in conjunction with the alumni, and it will be a wonderful, wonderful resource for everybody, especially us.
The four players that you've signed, plus Joel, for next year, is there anything you're holding back? Is there anything else you're hoping to do with the recruiting class for next year?
I think we've got our recruiting class for next year. We are earmarking, and like everyone, when you get one group, you move to the next group. So we're earmarking the junior class this year for the following year's recruits.
When you, I heard you were in with him a long time ago. Did that change? Did it get more crazy towards the end when you got more high profile?
I'm sorry?
With Trey Kell, I heard you were in with him for a number of years, being a local kid and recruiting him, and then his profile kind of seemed to go up last year. So just wondering, did that change the way that was?
I believe we've done a really good job of identifying locally the better players and those that we wanted to get involved with. So Trey has been on our radar for a long time, and we've seen him more than anybody else that recruited him. We knew how good he was. And when he went this spring and summer, the nation found out how good he was. So it became a dogfight, it became a battle. He had a lot of schools that tried to get involved. One advantage we had, we were there for a long time. There was familiarity, a comfort level with family and with Trey and with his high school coach, Mike Hopp, that we knew what he could do, how he could be utilized here. And at the end of the day, why leave home when a mom and a dad and a sister who were at every event he had this summer can now be at every game he plays next year when he comes to San Diego State. But he was highly recruited. I don't need to go through all the people that were recruiting him. He was very highly recruited.
Coach, you have a, I wish you speak to the sort of variety that you have, including Angelo. You pretty much have a player at every position. That doesn't normally happen in a recruiting class where you bring in 5 guys. Wonder if you could speak to that, and sometimes you sort of take the best athlete and they might overlap a little bit. How much of a luxury is that to have on the floor with that variety?
It looks as if you can say, okay, you can take those 4 guys, put Angelo in, and they could go out and play for you, and they would fit together. And they do. They do. We have played, though, with the versatility where sometimes people say, well, you don't have this, you don't have that, and we have this and we have that when we mix and match with them. So with this group, I could see 2 or 3 guys being a guy bringing the ball up the floor and running the point with size. Obviously, Kevin Szabo is a point guard. Trey Kell can be a point guard. You can flip-flop those. But I would not hesitate to let Zylan Cheatham bring that ball up and do a little bit like Kawhi did, come off high ball screens and be hard to guard off of that look. But it's a class that the nice thing about this group, we did not have to get knee pads to recruit them. They all had a strong interest out of the gate. They all saw the merits in San Diego State compared to any school that might be looking at them, whether it be Arizona or UCLA or anybody that it might be, and they wanted to be here. That speaks volumes for what the previous groups of kids have done and how they feel about San Diego State. Too many kids come and cut and run after their freshman year if they don't get enough playing time. You have to have a commitment to where you are, and I do believe this group of kids has a commitment to being part of something really wonderful at San Diego State.
Late, obviously, as a recruitment was a little different considering his injuries. The way you kind of recruit him, obviously it stood out because you stuck with him that entire way. Do you think that was a big difference compared to other schools recruiting him, considering that he and Windsor, some schools might have backed off? So you guys stuck with him the whole way, kind of like how you guys recruited Chase Stafford in the back in the second half.
It's like anything you do, what we do in recruiting is about relationships. And the fact that we've been here for a long time, we have an identity that people, how we're perceived. And I believe we're perceived, everybody in our program, as honest, fair. They try to do what they say they're going to do. And once they make a commitment, they stick with it. And we've done that. Malik, we saw when he was a freshman in high school. Gangly, young guy that you say, this guy's got a chance to be really good. And you see him the next year and you say, this guy is really good. So you have a relationship with him. And when he got hurt, we maintained that. You can't. He didn't play. He didn't play this summer, but we stayed in contact with him. We communicated with him, and I think he appreciated that, and he felt that we were genuinely, sincerely interested in him, and wanted to help him as he went through the whole gauntlet of making the decision.
You compare the Malik to Billy White. Who does, I mean, Zalman to Billy White? Who does Malik kind of remind you of?
I don't know who any of them truly remind me of, but popped out of my head. Zylan's got the athleticisms of Billy. I'm going to wait and let people watch and see. I think too often we put expectations on these guys and I think they need to be allowed to come in and find out how they fit. And I know they will compete, but I also know, as you do, we got some pretty good guys that'll be returning from this team you'll see this year, next year. And they will not be willing to say, okay, come on in, the position's yours. We'll have some great competitive practices. We'll have a lot of guys that can play. And this group of incoming freshmen with Angelo are all going to be able to come in and compete for playing time.
Coach, you mentioned these players really wanted to come here. And, there was obviously the 34 to 3 year, you would capture the nation's attention. Most of these players, I think, were freshmen in high school and sophomores. A very impressionable time to start informing the team where to go. How much do you think that, a lot of people thought 34 to 3 year and have a huge recruiting class the next year, but these things kind of take a while to filter down. How much do you think that success is now starting to translate into recruiting success, particularly with the schools that you're leading to get guys now?
When you have success, it feeds upon it feeds itself. At whatever sport, at whatever school, whatever conference you're in, and for a lot of ways, you get more exposure from the television. You're talked about as a rated program. When we're 34 and 3, we became one of the darlings of the country. We had everybody from USA Today to ESPN to all the major networks that wanted to come in and say, let me look, are they as good as some people are saying they are? We lost to 2 teams. We were good. And people saw that. Young kids saw it. But also word of mouth. And Kevin Szabo, for instance, he's from Canada. He played in the same youth program that the Vegas player, Anthony Bennett, played at. Bennett told him, you won't believe the atmosphere at San Diego State. I played there. I couldn't believe what the fans were like. So all those things go together to help you. There's no question that the success we had then, the ripple effect has had an impact on what we were able to recruit this year. They were aware. We showed some tape from it. But we showed tape from last year in this arena, the electricity that's there, and several of them, obviously Trey came to a lot of games, had been able to get in here and witness firsthand what it was like to be in this building. Pretty neat.
Zalon, he's actually coming to the game tomorrow. How excited are you for him to now have him experience, the arena? Obviously, it's going to be the game right over the fans to show out as usual.
We are in what you guys don't know, or maybe do, it's the dead period. Monday through Thursday. We can't leave campus to recruit. We can't leave a ticket for a prospect unless it's one of the 4 guys we signed. They can come, we can leave them a ticket, and they can be a part of the atmosphere. And it'll be neat. Trey will be here. Trey Kell will be here. Zylan says he's coming to be here. So that'll be really, really, really neat.
Anything else recruiting-wise? Any other questions in general?
Obviously, we got a huge game tomorrow with Arizona. You probably saw the score. We watched the game of their most recent win against Long Beach, where they looked every bit as good as their 5 or 6 rating. They've got a great balance of experience and youth. They're very, very talented. We played them a year ago. We all know that. They were 12-0. We were 11-1. And we had a chance at the buzzer, and we got beat by a point. We've had success with them in the past. I believe we'd won at least 2, maybe 3 of the last 2 or 3 times we played them, including in Tucson. So our kids are coming out here unafraid. We're going to have to play well, but we expect to win. We know that we're going to have to play really good basketball. We do the same things. We try to do the same things. We guard really hard, so do they. We pride ourselves in how we rebound. I believe that's one of the staples that they've got. And then we want to get offense out of transition. We want to get early offense. They're very good at that also. So it'll be 2 good teams going at one another, and I know that it'll be a wonderful early season game for both schools and both programs.
Coach, on that note, you guys have had, there's been some teams on the West Coast that UCLA the most notably who didn't want to play you and have shied away from playing you. Arizona never really has, first with Luke, now with Sean. What is it about, particularly the case with Sean and you, that allowed you guys to have this series? Usually you don't see these kind of games unless teams are forced to play each other.
Part of schedule making, and it's never the same, and it's never easy. This is the return of a home and home from 2 years ago, when we went in and Tim Shelton drew 7 offensive charges against Arizona, and we won at Arizona 2 years ago. We deferred the return game because we were both in the Diamond Head, and we had a chance to play, and we did play. So this is the culmination of a home and home. We don't have anything imminent for next year, but although next year we won't play because we're both going to be in Maui. But we'll look down the road and say, would you want to? I think the Arizona folks like the fact that it's an easy trip. There are a lot of Arizona alums in the greater Southern California area, and they bring some people. I think Sean likes it because he thinks it'll be a good test for him when they play a good out-of-conference game, and you don't have to travel to the other coast to play it. Sometimes you get the ability to do it because you're secure in your job. Sometimes you do it because the AD makes you do it. I think in this one, we think it's good for us. We think our fans will love to see it, and Arizona has felt the same way. Lute Olson and I are good friends, so he liked to do it. He had a place in Coronado, and I think Sean feels it's good for him too. So we're hoping we can continue the series.